Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps at sa ating mga bisita. Welcome sa regular economic briefing dito sa Malacanang. Today we have Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino.
Maraming salamat, Undersecretary Rocky. At magandang umaga po. At welcome muli sa ating almost weekly economic press briefing hosted by the Economic Development Cluster and PCOO. Bago po natin talakayin ang mga usapin tungkol sa presyo ng langis, malugod pong ipinapababatid ng economic team sa publiko na ang ating inflation rate noong buwan ng Oktubre ay nag-stabilize sa 6.7% at bumaba ang ating month-on-month inflation na nasa 0.3%. Ang mababang month-on-month inflation ay nagpapahiwatig ng pagbagal ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin at magandang epekto ng mga hakbang ng gobyerno sa pagpapababa ng presyo ng pagkain. Hayaan niyo po akong basahin ang ilang bahagi ng joint statement ng economic team ng Duterte administration, partikular na ang DOF, NEDA at DBM tungkol sa October 2018 inflation. Concerted government efforts as prescribed in Administrative Order 13 to tame the prices of goods in the previous months have finally resulted in expected outcomes. And such promising results further motivate the economic team to work closely with all concerned government agencies to more aggressively implement mitigating measures to ease inflation over the medium and long term. As always, the economic team is mindful that much attention has to be given to food, which remains to be the major contributor to inflation, even as its price decelerates. To hasten the decline in consumer prices, the government must continue enforcing mitigating measures, particularly interventions in the food supply, one of which is rice. To compensate for the lost harvest in typhoon affected areas, rice imports should be closely monitored to ensure that their arrival is timely and sufficient. We also call on concerned government agencies, especially the Department of Agriculture, to speed up initiatives to distribute seed buffer stocks for rice, as well as corn and other high value crops in disaster stricken areas in time for the planting season this November to January. Interventions in rice production should be supported by policies that will further ease food supply, which remains crucial as demand for food items is expected to increase with the onset of the holiday season. Congress must pass the long overdue amendments to the Agricultural Tariffication Act, particularly the Rice Tariffication Bill, which is expected to reduce rice prices by 2 pesos per kilo to as much as 7 pesos per kilo. It will also reduce the inflation rate and generate resources to improve productivity of our farms. Setting our sights on longer horizons, more should be done to ensure price stability of food products. The government needs to pay closer attention to the agriculture and fisheries sector to significantly increase productivity and to be more competitive and resilient to weather-related and man-made shocks. Pero ngayong umaga, magandang balita ang patuloy na pagbaba ng presyo ng langis sa ating merkado. Sa katunayan, pang-apat na linggo na po ang mga big-time rollback sa presyo kada litro na ipinapatupad ng mga oil companies. Upang lalong mabigyang linaw ang mga hakbang ng gobyerno upang bantayan ang presyo ng langis sa loob at labas ng ating bansa, narito po ang masipag na kalihim ng Department of Energy na si Secretary Alfonso G. Cusi. Secretary Cusi.
Good morning to all members of the press. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Sec Lambino, for the introduction, and to my fellow workers sa government. Maganda pong umaga sa ating lahat. Yesterday, the Philippine Statistics Authority announced that inflation in October held steady, unchanged from the previous month. This is in line with what has been predicted by our economic managers. Inflation has peaked and will taper off over the rest of the year. I am pleased to announce that over the past month, we recorded 4 consecutive weeks of decreases for oil prices at the pump. The fall in the prices in the Philippines is reflective of movements in the global market. This was caused by several factors. In October, OPEC production rose to its highest level in almost 2 years as higher output from Saudi Arabia, Libya, and the UAE pushed production up to 390,000 barrels per day. Additionally, oil prices fell this week as the start to U.S. sanction against Iran's fuel export was softened by waivers that will allow 8 major importers to continue buying Iranian crude. Despite these downward trends in prices, the Philippine government is expecting further volatility as markets continue to adjust to these developments. In recognition of this, the Philippine government is putting our people first and taking measures to mitigate short to medium term volatility. Under the DOTR and LTFRB, fuel vouchers for public utility jeepneys in the form of a card are provided to qualified franchise holders. For the remainder of 2018 and the entire year of 2019, the government has allocated 4.8 billion pesos towards this program. The DOE has worked together with oil companies to provide relief to consumers in the form of corporate social responsibility programs. A total of 1,317 stations across the country are now providing a fuel price discount for public utility vehicle drivers amounting to 1 to 3 pesos per liter. Our collective experience over the last few months has reaffirmed the DOE's commitment towards a long-term energy security initiative. An essential pillar to that is the development of the indigenous fuel sources. To that end, we have drawn up 14 predetermined areas for oil and gas exploration. Our recent roadshow in Singapore received favorable responses, and I look forward to the economic thrust that the industry will provide our country. Under a shared vision with President Duterte, we are not just a government with malasakit, but we are a government of action, and we are laying the foundation towards achieving Ambition Natin 2040. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to answering your questions.
MPC, you have question? Question? MPC? I'm sorry, Nestor.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Secretary.
Morning.
Secretary, can you give us an update on the expected oil exploration deal between the Philippines and China in time for the visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping?
Well, I'm not. I don't like to preempt what will be the discussion between during the visit of President Xi Jinping, and the topics are being taken care of by DFA.
But are we expecting an exploration deal in time for the visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping?
I'd rather not answer it at this moment.
MPC question?
Why, sir? I mean, if it's okay if you can give the details now, but at least are we expecting an exploration deal? Because Salvador presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo last week said that the government is preparing or drafting at least 3 gas exploration deals in the West Philippine Sea.
Well, there are exploration area within exclusive Philippine territory that is already in the here in Malacanang for signing. So if Secretary Panelo is referring to that, then that's the one.
Last. So, sir, will there be a lifting of the oil exploration moratorium since we will be if we are to sign these deals, will there be a lifting of the ban? Because I think previous administration imposed a ban on this.
Well, the issue of the lifting is being taken care of by the DFA, because of the diplomatic issue. As far as the DOE is concerned, prior so that we can resume exploration, we need to lift that moratorium.
May follow up? Other MPC, no more question? Okay na tayo? Sige,
May timeline ba, sir, kung kailan nyo ililift yung moratorium?
Actually, that is best answered by DFA. That's why our focus now, DOE's focus on developing indigenous resources is on the 14 predetermined areas within the Philippines exclusive territory. Those are offshores and onshores, and this will be already be made available come third week of November of this month.
Okay, Christine?
Sir, has the DOE recommended or made a recommendation for the lifting of the ban?
We,
With the
we
DFA?
we did discuss that. I did discuss that with DFA, and I have requested that that DOE's position is to lift the moratorium. But as I've said, that issue, because of the diplomatic concerns, is best answered by DFA.
Sir, when did you make yung request na to for the lifting?
When did I?
Yes.
When did I what?
When did you yung state yung position to the DFA that the DOE wants the lifting of the ban?
Well, from day one, that has been the position of DOE. We wanted to lift it so that we can resume exploration. But as I've said, that issue has some diplomatic concerns, and we defer to DFA handling that.
Are there any recent talks with the DFA on this issue, sir? Any
Recently?
recent, oh yeah.
Recently,
Yeah.
this one, wala pa.
So the last time was like last
The
year?
last time, actually, siguro mga the trip to Israel. Yeah. But that talk was with the DFA.
And what did they say, sir? Meron
Because
na-
we were working on the signing of the ratio with ratio, the exploration. What number is this? I forgot. That exploration contract with ratio. So while we were working on that, we said that we should also, it's best for the country to have that lifted so that we can also resume exploration in the area.
Sa last na lang. So no feedback from DFA after that?
They are taking it up. What I know is that they are taking it up ang sa mga diplomatic concerns.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, MPC questions? Microphone, please. Cedric.
Sir, morning, sir. Sir,
Yes, sir.
it's been 4 consecutive weeks of rollback. I don't know if we can make projections based on it. But, sir, if you base it on historical records, sir, can we make projections until the end of the year kung ano magiging trend dun sa presyo ng gasolina, sir?
Well, actually, we are very dependent on what is happening in the international market. So our informations are based on the forecast of the developing, producing, and exporting countries. And if I would just share with you what the forecast of for the coming months, it's said that it would remain at the 70 level. I mean, low 70s and the high 70s. Per barrel, yes. That is dollar per barrel. That is the indication based on the forecast that we have been following, the Dubai, the MOPS, and the Brent.
Jonah?
Sir,
You.
quick follow-up lang kanina.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can divulge, ano yung mga diplomatic concerns dun sa exploration?
Well, the diplomatic concerns were yung mga basis nung when the country, when DOE issued the moratorium in early 2010, 2011, I think. And they because China then was opposed to our exploration in the area because they claim that it is part of the South China Sea belonging to the China territory covered by the nine dash line.
Okay, MPC questions? No more? Okay, sorry.
Secretary, which area or areas are up for exploration? Ano po yung mga inaay ng government na areas?
The 14
Yes.
the 14 predetermined areas. These 14 predetermined areas are within the offshores and onshore, no, from the Mindanao to North Luzon.
Questions? Bernadette.
Sir, you said that the DOE is forecasting that the oil prices, the Dubai oil will fall at the $70 per barrel, low $70 and high $70 range po. So, ano po sir yung factors sir for this forecast sir? Ano sa tingin niyo ba't hindi po siya mag-hit ng $80 per barrel?
Well, first, I'd like to make it clear that what I shared with you is not DOE's forecast. No? This is the forecast by the international market, which we are following. The basis of that is because of the softening of the what is the sanction imposed by the U.S. against Iran. They have issued waiver to something like 8 countries that to import oil from Iran. Okay, and then of course the U.S. Have maximized or is maximizing their production as well as the Saudi. No? So with that volume, that hopefully would keep the price at that range within the $70 range, no, low 70s to high 70s.
Pero sir, despite this forecast po sa world market, sir, so hindi na po ba natin kailangan mag-suspend ng next round of excise tax, sir? Sa DOE position po, sir.
Well, yung sa issue ng excise tax, I would rather refer that to DOF. Sec Lambino is here, and I'm sure he'll be able to answer that.
Magandang hapon po ulit. As you know, the economic managers submitted their recommendation to suspend the next tranche of the increase in excise scheduled for January 2019. That recommendation stands, and it is an official document that we need to receive from the Office of the President in order to implement that recommendation. That recommendation was made when the price per barrel for Dubai crude and MOPS was above $80. And the futures markets also showed $80 and above for November and December.
Okay, thank you, Bernadette. Rosen? Sige, sir.
If I just might add, no, if we look at the increase in diesel, no, from December 2017 to October 2018, ang nakikita po talaga natin ay mga 15 pesos na ang tumaas. No? Ang computation po natin dyan, kung gagamitin po natin yung 15 pesos per liter, ay may 2 piso na dapat idagdag dun sa excise for January 2019. That's around 13 to 15% kung isama po natin yung VAT on the excise. No? So, hindi po talaga natin i-address ang buong pagtaas ng presyo by suspending the next tranche. Ang ginagawa po talaga natin ay tumutulong ng konti by making that recommendation. But at the same time, ina-anchor po natin yung inflation expectations para po yung behavior ng market, yung behavior ng households, yung behavior ng mga negosyo ay mas maging akma dun sa pag-stabilize ng mga presyo. Salamat po.
Si Rosalie muna. Rosalie? Okay. Follow up. Sige. Sige. Daryl, then...
For ASIC Lambino, sir. Sir, si Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno, he said na he's still hopeful na mag-push through yung excise tax on the first quarter. So, does this mean that it can still change yung suspension po? Will his opinion matter in changing that?
The recommendation that was submitted to Malacanang was received, no? And that recommendation from the economic team stands. Ang inaantay lang po talaga natin ay ang official order from the Office of the President. But that recommendation stands.
Okay, ASIC Lambino. Sir, just to be clear, sir, the recommendation stands even if the price of crudes remains at 70 for the remainder of the year?
If it is below the threshold, ang tanong natin, I think, no? Oo. The recommendation stands because when it was made, the price was above the threshold, lagpas sa $80 per barrel, at saka pati po yung futures na tinitingnan natin, yung futures prices hanggang end of the year ay lagpas din po sa 80 at the time the recommendation was made.
Since ang projection po daw sa international market is bababa ng mga 70 pero mag-stand pa rin yung recommendation niyo, sir?
Ideally, ang gusto po sana natin gawin ay i-review yung recommendation after it is implemented. So, at some point next year.
Okay, a question, sir. Yeah. Secretary Cusi from Pia Ranyada. How many joint exploration agreements are in Malacanang for signing? And who will be signing these documents?
There are two. I think these are, if I remember, it's service contract number 57. And this is the issue of farming in for a company to be, because that service contract is owned by PNOCEC, and they needed a partner to pursue further exploration and exploitation if the time comes. So they've been looking for partners, and one partner that they have shown that interest is the CNOC, the CNOC. So for them to farm in, because it has been farming in is not allowed. EO, I'm sorry, but I don't remember the EO number. So that needs amendment, and so we have submitted our recommendation for its amendment so that we can already sign that exploration.
Okay, thank you, sir. Rosalie?
Hi sir, good afternoon po. Other topic po, do you also support the recommendation of other sectors na bawiin po ng LTFRB yung pong implementation ng fare increase, since according to reports for
Ibaba ang
bawiin po yung pagpapatupad ng fare increase
Tayo mo na. Sorry. Bawiin yung
implementation po
ng
ng fare increase.
implementation. No, I have no comment on that, and I would leave it to LTFRB and DOTR to evaluate the validity of the claim.
Okay, sir. Iba pong topic ulit. Yun pong effort ng pamahalaan to import oil sa non-OPEC countries, ano po yung update? Ano po yung update sa efforts ng government to import oil sa
non-OPEC?
Opo.
It's we are continuing, and the framework has been approved. Ang nangyari lang, nagkaroon ng delay because of the issuance of the LC because of the sanction, but that is being addressed already.
Aside from Russia po, ano po yung iba pa pong non-OPEC countries na tinitingnan po natin?
Iran ang kasama, pero may sanction nga ron, no? Yung sa Iran, and then of course sino pa ba itong mga kinausap ng PNOCEC? I don't remember anymore the other, because this went under through bidding, no? So I don't remember. I just don't remember who else submitted.
Okay. Question, MPC? No more? Sorry, yung forecast. Sige, Bernadette.
Ay. Sir, nasabi niyo po na dalawa yung agreements po na nasa Malacanang po, 'di ba, for signing. Sabi niyo po yung isang agreement is SC57. So ano po yung isa, sir?
I'll give it to you later, no? Kasi just slip my mind kung ano ang
SC72?
number. No, 72 is not 72 because 72 is within that 9 dash line claimed by China. Definitely not 72.
Okay.
I'm definite about that.
Sige, sir. Sir, yung sinabi niyong nag-submit po kayo na recommendation for the amendment of the EO po, sir, regarding sa partnership ng, I think, PNOC tsaka CNOC? Kailan po kayo nag-submit, sir?
PNOC, EC, and ZINOC.
Oh, yes.
That is CINOC, that is on SC57 exploration. As I explained earlier, that SC57 is owned by PNOC EC, and they needed a partner to pursue the work. And I think the best proposal is coming from CINOC, and PNOC EC cannot continue the agreement or the acceptance of CINOC proposal until that EO is amended.
So, kailan niyo po sinubmit, sir, yung recommendation to amend the EO po, sir?
Kailan?
Opo, kailan po?
Late last year.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, MPC, no more questions? Sige, sir, yung forecast kasi na talagang bababa yung presyo ng ng oil. Ano ang magiging effect nito sa inflation natin?
Sa inflation, no, I think the inflation caused by oil. First, we are projecting that the price of oil, there will be rollback again next week because of the improvement in the price in the price of oil in the international market. So that is the good news. And what now on the question, anong epekto nito sa inflation? Of course, nakakatulong ito na mababa yung inflation pagka bumababa yung presyo ng langis. Sabi ko nga po kanina na yung there were 4 series of rollback. Magkakaroon na naman tayo ng rollback next week. So maasahan natin na yung factor contributed by oil in inflation will be lessened. No? Actually, from September to October, it has already normalized. Ibig sabihin, what I mean is that stabilized, no? Na-maintain na niya.
Okay. Si Asek Lambina, may answer kayo? Ano daw pwede maging effect nun?
With the Secretary's permission.
Yes, sir.
Kung titingnan po natin yung top 10 contributors to inflation, kasama po dyan at number 3 yung electricity, gas, and other fuels. Number 4, operation of personal transport equipment, yung mga pribadong sasakyan. At yan po ay makakatulong po dyan ang pagbaba ng presyo ng ating oil imports. No? So kung bumaba po ang international price of our oil imports, ay direct po yung effect on those items, dun sa commodities. Meron din pong pass-through ang fuel into the production of other commodities. Pero ang estimate po natin dyan ay anywhere from 3 to 10% lang, no, ng cost ng production. So in terms of direct effect, nandun po talaga sa household fuels and sa private vehicles.
Magla-last question na tayo, MPC. So question from Joe Malaya. Comment daw po sa concerns raised by Senator Gatchalian that the importation of some 2 billion pesos worth of diesel from Singapore may not be the best option to lower the price of diesel and assist PUVs since not all gas stations would sell the lowered price diesel from Singapore. Reaction daw po.
I heard that yesterday people were asking me about that question. Kung ano daw po ang position ko do sa statement ni Senator Win Gatchalian. No po. Rather than answering it here, I requested that I meet first with Senator Gatchalian para mapag-usapan po namin talaga what is kung ano po yung talagang substance, ano pong mga issue ng kanyang position.
Okay, thank you. No more questions, MPC? Okay, maraming salamat, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi. Salamat kay Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino. Thank you, MPC. At sa ating mga bisita, back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.
Maraming salamat po. Magandang araw po sa lahat.